dedicated to the over 1,500, over 2,000 women who have served our country from the beginning. Stop number 3 will be for Arlington House. Currently, Arlington House itself is open. You can get a tour of Arlington House with the National Park Service if you wish. If not, you don't have to. You can look over the skyline of Washington, D.C. and get a great view of the city that way. Or you can go into any one of the 5 museums that are on the ground that chronicle the detailed plantation life. It's still a working cemetery. To be buried here on the cemetery grounds, there are over 400 Medal of Honor recipients that are buried here on the cemetery grounds. The majority of them will have their grave markers etched in gold leaf. And the other one is Marine Corporal Ira Hayes. He is buried over in section 34 on the southwest side of the cemetery. Notice in section 10 over on the passenger side of the vehicle, grave markers that you see, some of the large grave markers, and each one is carved of Vermont marble. Each one weighs 230 pounds, and each one stands a total of 42 inches in height, but only 24 inches show above ground. Section 25 is coming into view over on the driver's side of the vehicle. President Kennedy had visited Arlington twice in 1963. He came here in March. He was given a private tour of the house and the grounds by then National Park Service representative Paul Fuqua. As he looked out over the skyline of Washington, D.C. from the patio of Arlington House, he was overheard to tell Mr. Fuqua, "It's so beautiful I could stay here forever." He was also here on November 11, 1963, Veterans Day, 2 weeks prior to his assassination, and he was here to lay a wreath and give a speech at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. He was accompanied by his brother Bobby and his press secretary Pierre Salinger. President Kennedy's grave marker is marked by the eternal flame. And also in that elliptical area, you'll find the grave marker of his brother, Senator Robert Kennedy. You'll find the grave marker of his brother, Senator Edward Kennedy, and there's a memorial marker there in honor of eldest brother Joseph P. Kennedy, Jr. He was killed in a secret mission that he was flying over the English Channel during World War II, and unfortunately his remains were never recovered. That rose quartz grave marker is Joe Louis. Buried next to him is Academy Award-winning actor Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin was a Marine who saw combat on Saipan during World War II, and he was a Purple Heart. General Marshall is the only Nobel Peace Prize laureate to be buried here on the grounds of Arlington National Cemetery. As we go up the hill, section 7A, that is the Canadian Cross for freedom and sacrifice, and that was a gift to the United States from Canada for our help with their country before, during, and after World War I. The real mast of U.S. Maine instead of a number. Over on the passenger side of the vehicle, we're going past the Memorial Amphitheater again, and there you're going to find the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier laid to rest. Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is guarded by the 3rd Infantry Regiment, or the Old Guard, if you will. They guard the tomb 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Rain, snow, sleet, or hail. And the Woodhull flagpole is coming into view over on the passenger side of the vehicle. One of 2 flagpoles on the cemetery grounds. The other one is in front of Arlington House. And each flag on each flagpole will be lowered to half-staff 1/2 hour prior to the first funeral of the day. At that particular time, unfortunately, it was exploded, thus starting the Spanish-American War, erroneously, and the rallying cry, "Remember the Maine," that is the original rear mast. The Memorial Amphitheater seats about 5,000 people. It is carved solely of Vermont marble. Danby, Vermont is the city where the quarry is located. It is not used, it is only used, I beg your pardon, it's only used 3 times a year. Responsible for the changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. They are responsible for the safety of the President of the United States. Still, it's not the largest cemetery in the country. But only 2 presidents of the United States are buried here. You need a view on the driver's side of the vehicle. There, you are going to find the grave mark of the oldest president of Arlington National Cemetery, a man by the name of James Parks. James Parks had been born on a plantation as a slave. Turn the corner, that's the nurses section, dedicated to, but not limited to, all of the brave nurses who have given aid and comfort to all of our fighting men and women all around the world, dating back to the Spanish-American War, when women were allowed to serve in combat. Over on the passenger side of the vehicle at ground level, you're going to see the newest memorial here on the cemetery ground. It's dedicated in honor of the Vietnam helicopter pilots and their crews, one of the newest memorials dedicated here in April of 2018.
Guards! Halt! Forward! March! Guards! Halt! Port! Arms! Ready! Face! Preset! Arms! Port! Arms! Ready! Face! Pass! On your orders!
Halt and order. Remain as directed.
Order! Acknowledge. Ready? Face! Preset! Arms! Right shoulder! Arms! Pose! Right! Base! Preset! Arms! Order!